Thank you once again for tuning into Car and Bike. My name is Shams. Now we have a lot of 7-seat options in the market of late, but if there's one car that doesn't really get talked about a lot, it is the Hyundai Alcazar. Now I have spent a lot of time with this one over the last few months. In fact, more than 6 months, clocked thousands of kilometers in this one across various conditions in the city, on the highway and in different weather conditions to tell you if you should be spending your hard-earned money on this one or not. So stay tuned till the end as I tell you all the pros and cons about the Hyundai Alcazar. But before that, if you still haven't subscribed to Car and Bike, please do it right now. Also press the bell icon so that we can meet and get you all the latest from the world of Indian auto industry. Now just like how it is with all cars from Hyundai, you get a lot of variants to choose from. But you know what I like about the Alcazar? The fact that even the base variant that starts at 14.5 lakh rupees looks really similar to this top signature trim of the SUV. So you talk about these quad beam LED headlamps, you talk about edge shaped on the DRS that looks very nice, and of course the dark chrome on the grille. You find all of them on the base model as well, which I really appreciate. You also get alloy wheels, diamond cut, but 17 inches, so one size lesser than this one. And even those really nice looking edge-shaped LED tail lamps that really make the car stand out, especially in the dark, those also you find in the base variant, of course, along with these nice looking roof rails. Open sunroof.
Opening the sunroof.
If it's a Hyundai, it has to be loaded with features. And this is one of the more expensive models, so of course there is no dearth of feel-good factor inside the car. So dual screens as a part of a single unit is something that you get here, and it's pretty much standard across variants, so you like that. A lot of connectivity options. You just saw voice command feature, and it understands multiple languages, which also is great. A very well-performing Bose sound system, along with dual zone climate control and a wireless charger. But it doesn't end there. Many more features are out here to impress you, though you will find them only on this top signature trim. Memory seats for the driver, electric seats for the passenger, and of course you also get seat ventilation on both the front seats. So big panoramic sunroof of course is there too. So overall, you look at this first row of the Alcazar, it's out here to impress you. Now when you compare it to some of the recent cars in the segment like the Safari or the 7XO, you may feel that it's sort of lacking in terms of how the cabins are designed or how many features are offered, but independently if you look at this car, it is ticking in right boxes. So just like how it is on most 3-row cars, the third row has to be avoided, especially if you're somebody as tall as me. It's better for kids. So not a lot of space, but in terms of utility, it's a nice place to be in because you get your own cup holders, you get your AC vents, you get 2 Type-C charging ports as well. And the seats, they are 50-50 in split and they can recline. They also have adjustable headrests too. So they can create more space if you have more luggage, and independently also if you compare the Alcazar to some other 7-seaters in the market, even though it could be smaller in dimensions, the boot space is still decent with all 3 rows being used. The negative, there is no electric tailgate in this car, and probably that is something that Hyundai should look at. The second row, especially with this captain seat variant, is really nice and comfortable. So it provides me ample thigh support, and if that's not enough, you also get this thigh support extender, which works well for taller people like me. And you also have this very nice wing-shaped headrest here, which gives you more comfort, especially on long drives. You can actually recline the seat and just be in a little more comfortable position. But that's not all. Your seat can also slide, so you can do this front and back, create more space. You still want more space, you can actually use the boss mode and push the front seats forward. And this is the kind of space you get here on the second row. Quite impressive to say the least. And then you also have the tray here with an integrated cup holder and a device holder as well. You can place your device here and get some entertainment while sitting here on the second row. A nice big sunroof also helps, and you also have a sunshade here, but remember, this is only to be used when the car is not moving and not when you are out on the roads. Now, a few more Hyundai has done with the Alcazar is that they've tuned ride quality in accordance with the turbo petrol engine here. So it is not very soft and it is not stiff either. It's somewhere in between. So it just depends on the kind of roads you're driving on. Sometimes in some uneven undulations, you will feel that the ride is a bit on the stiffer side, and You will not feel entirely comfortable sitting here, but in most situations, it will suffice and you will be happy with the kind of experience you and your family is getting, especially on the back rows of this SUV. Now, what I really like about the Alcazar when I start driving it every time is that it just offers great all-round visibility. So this makes me feel more assured as a driver because both the front and the back view is absolutely clear from the driver's seat. You also get a tilt and telescopic steering wheel, which means that it doesn't matter who is driving the car, that person is never far away from an ideal driving position. And of course, you have a lot to choose from in terms of engine and gearboxes. So you have both petrol and diesel, and along with manual, you have automatic as well, torque converter in the diesel and DCT in the petrol that I've been driving. Now, the thing is that you have to be careful in the variants you're choosing because not every variant will get all these options. In the base, you only get manuals, in the top, you only get automatics. And then, of course, it depends on the middle variants, which features you get with which engine option. So that is something that you have to be careful about. Now, when I started driving the Alcazar a few months back, my biggest concern was that this is the same engine that the Creta uses. So with the added weight, how will the car perform? And in that aspect, the car has done decently well. Of course, you will not get the same amount of response time or acceleration when compared to the Creta, but this one is rather quick as well, and that is something that does not disappoint you even when the car is fairly loaded with more than a couple of occupants, and that is something I like. Of course, you have your drive modes and you have terrain modes as well, and because of that you may find that the setup behaves differently in different situations. What is also impressive are the NVH levels here. Not a lot of sound comes inside the cabin, engine is really refined, so that noise also is not there. So the experience in the cabin for all the occupants is quite premium. But with this setup, what is the kind of fuel efficiency you are getting on the Alcazar, because that is really critical. So we know this is a sort of thirsty engine with the Alcazar. When compared to the Creta, it just becomes a little more thirsty. So I've driven the Creta also with this engine. But here, after driving it for thousands of kilometers, what this car has delivered, and this is across different driving conditions, mostly in the city, but also on the highways, at high speeds, in different drive modes. After everything combined, the car is giving me approximately 10 kilometers per liter. That I think is a fair number. It's not very high, but it could have been lower, and it is not. What's your take on this efficiency figure in the Alcazar Turbo DCT? Do let me know in the comments. Now, the Alcazar is something that does not have overly big dimensions, and that is that attribute that comes to its aid when you're talking about handling, because then with these sort of dimension, it's not very tall, and that helps in a car that does not have a lot of roll. So that is something that has really impressed me with this car, because I've driven it a fair time on the highways as well at high speeds, taking corners, and you don't really find faults with the way this car behaves in those conditions as well. And finally, safety also is taken care of, and that is something I'm impressed with. Of course, you get ADAS functions only in the higher variants, and especially adaptive cruise control that I really like is available only on this top signature trim. But you know, driven various cars with ADAS functions, and I think cars from this Hyundai and Kia group have their ADAS functions really sorted. So even in the Alcazar, when the ADAS functions comes into play, you feel that they are just behaving in the right way. They're not really intrusive, or they're not less intrusive as well. They are just what you want them to be, and that really helps you. Now, prices starts at 14.5 lakh rupees ex-showroom for the base manual, which is also a turbo petrol. And of course, this top trim is priced at around 21 lakh rupees ex-showroom. So with all the attributes and all the features, even in the higher trims, when you compare it to some of the rivals, this one still comes across as a value for money offering in the segment. The big question is, will you choose this over some other cars in the segment, which are of course bigger in size and may have some more features? So that was my time with the Hyundai Alcazar, a car that offers almost everything as its rivals do, but at a much lesser price. So if you're looking for a comfortable and reliable 7-seater, this could be it. Yes, things like fuel efficiency or third row space could bother you, but according to me, these are not real deal breakers. If you decide to invest in this one, it can be a safe bet. That's my take on the Alcazar. What's your take on this one? Will you choose this one over some other 7-seater SUVs in the market, or you will choose something else? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.